Well, we're going 5/8 today, folks. Princess is feeling good. Her oats, too. Last night she dug a hole in her stall. And the Euro walker, the last 2 days, it was something taking her off it. I think she's coming in heat, but last year she won in a heat cycle without the medicine that takes her out of heat cycles, or fillies. Regimate. And she's been eating up everything, even breakfast, which this filly usually trains and then wants to eat. She doesn't usually eat up her breakfast. So this week we've really going the right direction. I've long reined her to warm her up. So we're going to turn around, go back to the quarter pole, and come up to this 5/8 track, which will be the wire, and go right off. In the warm-up, she was feeling sassy, and I like it when they're giving but strong, meaning they're not real noodly in their warm-up. Shoulder in, little half pass, little travers, renevers. I like to have them really up in my hand, and as one from the hock to the bit. No tongue tie, no blinkers, which she has her blinker card. Might have added a little bit to this breeze, but I wanted to, speed doesn't pay in the morning. No money in the morning, as Alan Jerkins would say. And when I go on, I look around, because obviously there are other riders out there, and over my last almost 30 years of galloping on different racetracks and training centers, you really have to have heads up. A lot of bad things can happen when horses are on the inside rail and you're going 30-40 miles an hour. So you always hope that the horses out there, or the riders that is, are competent. And most of these horses are babies, so you kind of hope that they stay over where they should be. But that's part of racing too. So when you turn to go, you just go. And this filly knows her way around the racetrack, so I really can look around and regard the other rider behind me. I was in front of him far enough to pull around there, and as I pull around, I'm thinking, after all this training, I'm going off by myself. And when you go off by yourself, you really want to tell the horse that you're going for all they're worth. And when they don't have company, you know, you have to use the whip. Now this filly, this is great whip. It makes a lot of sound, but it doesn't leave any marks or anything, and she knows it as an aid. Much like Debbie Goldstein had her puissance horse. She'd go around and first 4 jumps until the puissance wall, and when she turned for that puissance wall, before she turned, she gave him 3 good whacks. He knew what was coming. Coming up the lane, she starts gaining ground after we go off at the wire, and now our strides are getting longer and longer, and I'm encouraging her as she goes around the corner here. She felt really good, but this is a smart filly, and she knows where the wire is, and I don't want her to lose that emotional forwardness. So I'm encouraging her again with the whip here, so we really go. Again, you know, when you're with company, it's easier because the horse wants to compete. This filly likes to compete. Now we're going to gallop out, and even on the gallop out, so we can get as much as we can out of it, I'll use my whip too, telling her no, we're not done yet. Horses are really smart, especially salty race horses. And even though she hasn't had a lot of starts, she's salty enough to know, okay, it's over with, and she lets herself down. We want to go and take down the race. You really have to get that lung power. She felt really good on the backside there, galloping now. And as I stood up and gradually brought her to a close, she was really pressing hard on my hands. Good sign. And cheerful, light on her feet still. You can see me starting. If you look hard, you can see her gait is bouncing more up and down as we slow up. And she doesn't want to jog yet. So I found with fillies, finesse them, colts demand them. Probably politically incorrect, but that's the way it is in the horse world. And she's happy. Her head's up, her ears are up, her tail's nice and relaxed. And she has that suspension that you really feel lucky to have after work like that. And she still is in the motion. So when you don't lose your suspension, you know you haven't taken everything out of your horse. And that also helps not to break them down. As she comes up here, we're going to go past the in gate because we don't want to have bad habits. And gradually slow her up, and then I'll turn her around. You generically do this so the horses don't get a bad habit as they get fitter and fitter and saltier between starts. Just so that, you know, they don't get barn sour. Because they can't get strong and they'll pull you right back. So if you make a ritual, horses are very... they actually like it when you have a set warm up and cool down, and each little thing that you do they memorize very quickly, and if you have that rhythm and have that way of keeping everything ABA, it relaxes them too mentally. So she knows now we're going home. We're backing up a little bit, and I'll pause. Probably not too long because I don't want to make her frustrated. That's another big thing about breezing. Just going fast isn't enough. You coming towards a work like this and going away from it, and the horse is getting fitter and fitter and having oats and grain and just feeling like a nuclear bomb. I want to mentally give them a relaxation. So you don't want to fight with them. So she's jogging back here nicely, but see her tail is relaxed and everything. So she's a happy camper, and her eyes are bright, her ears are up. So we haven't emptied everything. Felt like a good work. So back to the barn we go. Now we're looking at the cool out. Tell us about how much she did today in this 5/8 and a gallop out. And we want to see how much water she drinks. Last week she took a couple gulps, so that half mile wasn't a lot. And we want to get her out of the stall ASAP on the walk. Fillies tend to tie up, not just from a physical but mental. But she's been doing really well that way. And see how fast her respiratory return is as well.